As a kid, I always thought the world would be a lot more fair than it actually is. I'd wake up and I'd dream of becoming a YouTuber, somebody who could share his thoughts and experiences with the world in a way that nobody else could. And part of that dream with me was my best friend. They were probably one of the most influential people in my life. Were it not for them, I would be dead where I stand today. And I feel obligated, in a sense, to commemorate the friendship that I had with them. You see, I uploaded a video called The Worst Mistake I've Ever Made, and on it, I briefly touched on the fact that I had lost my best friend because of it. But truthfully, saying that does not do this justice, because this individual meant a lot more to me than just a simple throwaway mention in a video, and I needed to put that out there. I needed to sort of talk about what they meant to me, because without them, I would be dead. And it's hard to own up to our mistakes. It's hard to admit to ourselves that we've done things that we can't do. But with that comes maturity, a sense and understanding of the rights and the wrongs that we have to be confronted with. And I did wrong. There is no beating around the bush that I did wrong. I mean, I literally went after my brother with the knife. It doesn't matter that I was a minor. It doesn't matter that they were beating on me. Okay, I still did that. And I forever have to live with the consequences of the things that I did. Not only the crippling guilt of having threatened my own brother, but having to deal with the fact that I had lost a lifelong friend because of that. We've known each other for 10 years. We first met back when I was around 6 years old. They were 5. Really, really young kids. And I always cherished the time that I had with them. You know, a lot of people said that I was romantically interested in them. That would be weird, but it is not hard to see why they thought that, because we were very close, inseparable. I remember nights we would end up fighting with each other with swords in the back porch, just watching each other as the time goes by. You know, part of the reason why I was able to defend myself so much is because of these sword training sessions, funnily enough. We pick sticks up off the ground and just go at it, and it is something that is truly worth a lot to me. Now, what you're seeing in the background, the world and the footage that's being shown, is the world that we made together. We made a lot of memories in this world, and this world is a backdrop to my own childhood. I'm exploring it because, well, for one, I need background footage, but for two, I need something to illustrate how deeply intertwined our relationship with our feelings. Because it's one thing to just throw on some random background footage and call it a day, but I need something to help me cope with a lot of the things and a lot of the traumas I went through. This is more reminiscent of my original video that I posted on this channel, and I thought it would be an interesting watch. We make a lot of mistakes that we regret in our lives, right? In that video, I addressed the mistake that I had made was going after my brother, but the consequences of that mistake that I made were a lot more long-reaching. My brother was young, he forgave. My friend did not, and I feel robbed, in a sense. I was robbed of a friendship. I was robbed of somebody who I could have really been with for the rest of my life, and while I know it's fair and I know I deserve it, I still can't help but think of how different my life could have been had that friend still been a part of it. You know, I really put a lot of work into the thumbnail of this video. It was real pictures on a commemorative blanket that I got. It showed a lot of people in our lives, but more importantly is a couple of memories I had with that friend, and I felt the need to sort of commemorate it. And I'm sorry if it's hard for me to speak in this video. It's a lot of fuzzy, hazy memories. The memories themselves being, well, just that. We'll never talk again. I know that, and I know that my friend will never be with me again. And I miss that. I miss them. I wish that I could do that. You know, a couple of months ago, I actually ended up messaging them directly, and I'm saying that I know you'll never speak to me again, but I really would have wanted you to be here, because if it wasn't for you, I'd be dead. And I told them how they had saved my life. They never responded, obviously. They will never speak to me again. They made that abundantly clear, but I'd like to believe that they saw it. A couple months after that, I was playing Roblox, and they had forgot to remove me, and they actually ended up joining a game of TC2 I was playing. I looked at them, and they looked at me. They were removing me on Roblox, obviously, but I would like to believe that that brief stare that we had at one another, that little Pyro staring at the little brute in the game, it was a moment that is got to be something as a sort of finality, a closure in a sense, for myself and for the individual, because we needed to have something. I remember that we would spend a lot of time playing Minecraft. I feel like a lot of my drive to continue to play the legacy version of Minecraft is because we spent a lot of time playing that, and I reminisce a lot over the times that we had during those days. You know, nostalgia is a very powerful tool, yes, but nostalgia also comes in the sense of a word that cannot be described. It's a feeling, more so than a word, but it is a feeling that is probably one of the most powerful feelings that a human being could ever feel in their lives. I really like to think of the nights where we would just stay up late and, you know, make up this weird imaginary game. You know, a lot of my own OCs and a lot of my own creative ideas and talents, hell, even my Minecraft skin to a certain extent, my Roblox avatar, all stems from this little game we played. It was the adventure of Name and Name, and it was really dumb and it was really stupid. We'd mix in a lot of multimedia franchises that we kind of just do that and imagine it, you know. I remember there was this one fucking art where we just, like, incorporate the loser shoot from the Fairly Odd Parents, and I would just get fucking flown down that every time I did something, and I'd make the fakest scream noise ever. It was so stupid, and yet I fell, and it's dumb, man. And I feel like I need to grieve. I need to grieve the loss of somebody who meant a lot to me, and the grief, it's never going to go away. And I know that no matter how much I want them to become part of my life again, it just won't happen. I yap a lot on this channel, and I know that a lot of my videos are kind of unserious. This one is more so just intentionally bad. This video is not going to get any views, and I know that, but I really wanted to have a more personal chat with you about what I know I could have done. I don't know why I really wanted to make this video, if I'm being completely honest. It just kind of came to me as I was thinking of stories to tell. You know, I honestly was up in the air between this one of a, you know, one where we kind of bullied a kid. Me and the same friend I'm talking about, we bullied a kid for having, like, man boobs at the time, which is really stupid, and we were kind of dicks for it. And then, you know, these other kids that we lived with at the time would just come over and ram into us with bicycles, you know. It definitely was a bit overkill, but I can't say we didn't deserve it, because we, you know, did bully a kid for something that they really couldn't control, and they were very young, too. We were, like, I think 7 or 8 at the time of this happening, and then we went home, and then my friend was still just, like, fucking pointing at their fucking nipples and saying that, yes, they have man boobs and they're a crybaby. You know, we made up a song, Man Boobs, Crybaby. It was gross, and it's cringe, and I don't know why we ever thought it was a good idea to do. You know, I remember that my mom ended up, not my mom, but my ex-stepfather ended up, kind of cheating on my mother, and with that was really one of the last times we ever interacted in person. I came home that day and I almost knew that they had broken up. I don't know how I knew, but I kind of just knew. And I was 12 years old. It was very surprising. We ended up connecting over Discord, but the times we'd see each other face to face were very few and far between after that moment, and it is very interesting to see how the times went by. I'm not even sure if they watch my videos. If you are, hi, I hope you're doing well. I know you'll never respond to what I say, but I just hope you're doing well wherever you are. And with a lot of the things in my life, I kind of look way too deep into the sort of nuances and the what-ifs and what could have been, but this one is more about reminiscing, just talking about all the old stories that I could remember with them, because I miss them. You know, is there a death more permanent than death or betrayal, right? I betrayed their trust, and in a sense, I think that they are now more dead to me than they would be if they were just dead in the ground, because with death brings closure. With being cut off, it brings endless speculation. It brings the thought of what you could have done differently. It brings the thoughts of how you could have done things differently. And it hurts to think about how things could have been better had I just held out a little bit longer. You know, everybody knows on this channel that I was an incredibly abused child, that I was somebody who just wasn't really dealt the best hand in life. And I know that I wanted to make this video long, but I don't really know how much more I can yap about just being there in the moment, present with my best friend. We shared a lot of moments together, that's for sure. I know I advertised this as my longest video, but to be truthful, I think keeping this brief is a lot more important than trying to make something overly long and reminisce. The world you see around you is a archive of our memories. I never built anything in this world after the falling out because I wanted to leave this as an untouched relic, a sort of memorial to what our friendship was, and I lost my best friend, and it hurts to know how much I miss them and how much we'll never be able to speak again, all because of my own stupid fucking mistakes, you know. I really wanted to talk a lot more about this, but I just don't know what else to say. Is there anything left to be said? Is making a video like this and the circumstance something that means a lot more than what I could have possibly done? I don't know. I really don't know what's going to come of this. It's a late night yap session for sure. It's not going to get any views, as I said, but I just needed something to talk about. A sort of late night thought that I could have helped upon, and I hope wherever they are now they're doing well, because I really care about you, and I just hope that whatever unsolved baggage we had was not forever changing the way you see me. I know it forever changed the way you saw me, but I just hope you don't think I'm a monster. I hope that you don't think that I am somebody who is beyond redeem. I miss a lot of things that I thought I could have done, and I want things to go back to the way they were, you know. I wish that I had been stronger. I wish I had just put up with the abuse a little bit longer and I hadn't lost my mind. I remember all of the things that we've done together, and I just want it to go back to the way it was. We can't go back, no matter how hard we try, and I'm sorry for anything that I've done to you. I just want to be okay. I just want things to be okay. I just want them to be better. I don't like thought of just never-ending suffering and pain. I want life to make sense, but it just doesn't make sense. No matter how hard I try, it's never going to make sense, and I know it won't make sense, but I just can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of the word. I can't make sense of the world. I'm in over my head with this one. I should go. Yeah, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.